Okay. I'm going to talk. What should we do about North Korea? This North Korea country. Screwed up place. Um, yeah, North Korea is probably the number one best example of a messed up country. When I was living in Korea for like 5.5 months back in '98. When I was there, lots of weird stuff happened with this country. I mean, the people there are totally brainwashed. I heard the kids there, they have to make prayers every single morning um, to pray for the starving children in South Korea. North Koreans are like on average 4 to 6 inches shorter than South Koreans because they're all starving and because of sanctions, but they can't, grow their own food. If you look at North Korea, if you look at a satellite photo of North Korea at night, like with Google Earth, it's just black. You can see it, like the whole background, the whole outline of it. It's just black. It's totally in the Stone Age. And back before the Korean War, it was the industrial part of the country. When I was there, the president of Hyundai sent like 50 cows to feed them as a gesture of goodwill. And actually, a lot of South Koreans were convinced that within 5 years, the two countries were going to unite. This was back in '98, and I think they will unite just as soon as within the next 10 years or so. I don't know, pretty soon. But yeah, he sends 50 cows up there, but the South North Koreans give it back, saying that they were fed with rope and they were trying to like poison the North Koreans or something like that. Like six people control the whole country. They made this. And they're crazy. Like they're totally living their own little world. Like the prince, he spends all day long like watching pornography on his computer, and I mean they look pathetic if you look at photos of them. They're just like. Yeah, when I was there, the propaganda is crazy. When you go up to the DMZ, the demilitarized zone, which I never went there, but I wish I had gone there because it's really close to Seoul. But they have these like cardboard cities where you look at it and it's just a cardboard, and then they pay people to walk back and forth like with big smiles on their faces because they know they're being watched by the South Koreans, and to try to trick the South Koreans into thinking that they're living prosperously. Yeah, they're just brainwashed. The South Koreans, the South Korean fishing boat accidentally caught a North Korean uh, submarine while I was there, and when they opened it up, all of the South Koreans had committed suicide because they, I guess, thought they were going to be tortured or something. That's what they were told. But one of the guys escaped, and he was running through the hills of South Korea with a machine gun, like shooting people, because he thought that the war was still going. And there was another, I think, South Korean submarine caught by some fishing boats also when I was down there. I think it happened twice. And when they opened up, they were like, it all committed suicide. But yeah, I mean, these people, they're sold in slavery in China, I think, and they're kept in concentration camps, and they're killed for dissidents, and there's just it's a total brutal system. Everybody by law has to wear pendants of the South Korean. This is what I heard from a friend. I didn't actually read it. Pendants of the South Korean president Kim Jong-il, who's the son of the first Kim Jong-il, who was the first leader after the Korean War, around their chests. It's kind of like in Nepal, how everybody would have to have a photo of the king up on their house wall, and their restaurant wall. And this guy is supposed to be like God, and like every day in the newspaper that he controls, there are like news stories about how he like can materialize things out of midair, and he can levitate, and he's like a special guy. And like these poor Korean American girls who got abducted were probably not in North Korea. They were probably in China, just doing reports on slave labor or whatever they were doing their report on. And some North Korean commandos probably stormed over into the Chinese border and stole them, grabbed them, and brought them in as, a bargaining chip for those nuclear tests that they did the other day. When I was there, after the Korean War, they abducted a bunch of Japanese people. And when I was there, one Japanese, they shot a missile over Japan when I was there, just to freak them out. But a Japanese prisoner of war who had been there, living there for 40 years in North Korea, made himself a really small, basic makeshift rowboat and rowed all the way across the Yellow Sea to Japan and escaped. And so the North Koreans got pissed off about that and kidnapped a couple of Japanese fishermen from Japanese waters and told them they wouldn't release the fishermen unless the Japanese guy came back, because he was North Korean now. It's this kind of thing. Oh, and then they made this giant, and you can see it on Google Earth, it's like the 30th biggest building in the world or something. This giant 100-story high, I don't know exactly how high, but triangle shaped hotel that's just a skeleton, because he spent all the money. And if you look at it, Pyongyang is just a town. It's just this spattering of basic tiny little buildings, and then you have a grass field and a tiny little building in a grass field. It's the size of a small town here in America. And they have this gigantic hotel, because this North Korean guy thought that if they built this hotel, then it would be some major tourist mecca for the world or something. I mean, these guys are just out to lunch completely. And I think that stems from the communist system that the Chinese helped install is just a dictatorship. And when you get people like that in, then they'll just be they'll do whatever they can to stay in power. And North Korea always has been known as the hermit kingdom. They were the ones in Asia who didn't want to trade with anybody. They just wanted to, I guess they were ethnocentric, thought they were better than everybody else. And maybe that caused them to have some kind of weird mass consciousness where they just don't want to deal with anybody. And that just carries on. But you still have to feel sorry for the citizens of that country. Even though they might believe, who knows what they believe. But what should we do about them now that they have nuclear bombs? They had a nuclear bomb go off. I guess they could, sell the nuclear bombs to terrorists who would then bring them into the borders of England and America and Western countries and blow up the countries and all this stuff, which is a possibility. So what should we do? Should we go into North Korea and take over the country? Well, if there was a vote of everybody in the world, should we go in and do it? I'd vote yes, because we could go in there pretty easily. They have 1 million people in the army, but they have no technology. We could go in there and take over the country, but that's never going to happen. And what's it called? A unilateral war is ridiculous. Going into Iraq was ridiculous. But I don't think going in there and having to take over Korea is necessary anyways. I think that they'll eventually get tired of the leaders of that country will eventually get tired of fucking their people over so much. The anger for whatever that they have, the craziness, desire to keep control. Maybe not the 6 people who control the country, but all the people, the support structure around them who allow them to do that, will, once people get their hands on cell phones and stuff, and internet and computers, then it's all over. It's just a matter of months until it's all over for them. And there's no way that that country is going to be able to continue to go without that technology once it gets so cheap that anybody can get it. So I think what we should do to kill the North Korean axis of evil is just flood their country with internet, computers, and internet. And the dictators could be like, oh, but you're not allowed to do this and that. But they're smart hacker people who would be able to hack and be able to get internet and the information. Once that happens, boom, it's all over for them. So that's what we should do. Help them out with technology. I'm out of time.